Hey guys, Lex here, back to more of the Greatest Attorney. Last time, we got attacked by a dog, and now we're going to do a deduction. I don't know what happened here, but let's figure it out. Let's go. So then, to Music Land, where all is sweetness and delicacy and harmony. Pray, do enjoy Herlock Sholmes' latest logic and reasoning spectacular. A Great Deduction, the game is afoot. Man's identity. Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly, he's a German with no grasp of the English language, as evidenced by the Germanic song he sings and his apparent inability to understand when he asked to desist. So why is the man here at all, in such apparently high spirits? The answer, of course, Iris, is clearly known to you. Indeed, we need only to follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unravel a particular part of this mystery. The reason for the man's mildly irritating wobbling is revealed by the herbal tea. You obviously offered our German guest a cup of your latest herbal blend. Tea's delectable flavor has made the man's spirit soar, and resulted in this joyful ditty tumbling incessantly from his lips. I eagerly await sampling the flavor myself, that I may join the fellow in his state of relation. Now, to the next question. Who exactly is this gentleman, availing himself so thoroughly of the settee? As it happens, a number of years ago now, this gentleman of German origin engaged my services in solving a particularly delicate case. He required the retrieval of letters once sent to an acquaintance that might have proved problematic. In order to conceal his noble identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gottschrieg Sigismund von Ormstein. The little kid? The King of Germany. Oh. My memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical. Yes, there can be no question that the mask belongs to the King of Germany. It would appear that His Majesty remembers the fine services I afforded him, and has decided to show his face again, mask and all, in order to express his gratitude. Well-mannered monarch indeed. Would you agree, my dear fellow? So the identity of this masked visitor is in fact my former client, the King of Germany. Indeed. His son is currently in London as well, enjoying the wonders of the Great Exhibition. The King of Germany. Girls, silence. Which leaves us with one remaining, imponderable. Yes, you are young Iris. But your apparently inexplicable silence is unable to hide the truth. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside that knapsack. A £5 note, I believe. I must say, as your compatriot, I'm deeply saddened. It would appear that you've allowed yourselves to be bribed into silence by His Royal Highness, earning yourself some spending money in exchange for keeping quiet about the King's secret. Now, the final piece of the puzzle. What is the secret you're trying to hide with your silence, Iris? Ah yes, we need only follow the brief involuntary twitch of your eyes to find the answer. We're attempting to abscond with that coffee cup. My favorite coffee cup, in fact. Should I say, the handle of my favorite coffee cup. It appears that His High-Spirited Highness broke it in the midst of his hijinks. Which leads us to the sad truth. cup has been broken by the King of Germany, and Iris, you tried to conceal it from me. I shall have a bill sent via governmental channels to the German royal family for its replacement. To hide the coffee cup. This concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this painful puzzle. With your silence as well, the fellow's jovial wobbling rather rings in the ears, does it not? Mr. Sholmes, I must say something rather does trouble me. Pray, Mr. Thatto, please tell. His Royal Highness doesn't appear to have moved a muscle since we arrived. You haven't said a word either, Iris. Mr. Sholmes says it right. Might as well own up to it now. Your reasoning isn't entirely without substance, I must admit. And one other thing, Mr. Sholmes. Yet another grievance, Mr. Naruto. Surely not. Well, I actually read the story of that case recently. The one you were just describing. According to that, at least, it wasn't the King of Germany. It was the King of Bohemia. Yeah. Goodness, was it? Yes, that's quite true. Master Gotz, the prince, testified to that in court. In his words, I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia. I would ask you to keep that minor error to yourselves. It could easily become quite a scandal. I believe, Mr. Naruto, it's our turn to make some corrections to a number of minor errors that may have slipped in. Yes, even Mr. Sholmes is willing to admit that he might be slightly wide on the mark this time. Although it's clear that Iris is definitely hiding something. We need to find out the truth behind this mysterious scene. But one truth is incontrovertible. My favorite coffee cup is no more. So, shall we embark again? My joint presentation of Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning is spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Man's identity. Firstly, he considered the gentleman's nationality. Clearly he's a German, with no grasp of the English language. As evidenced by the dramatic song he sings and his apparent inability to understand when asked to desist. So why is the man here at all, in such apparently high spirits? The answer, of course, Iris, clearly known to you. Indeed, you need only to follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unravel that particular part of this mystery. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the herbal tea. So what, it's some mix of herbs that gives you the urge to sing? Goodness, you should like to try some. And I like to hear you singing, but this man, how long does he intend to keep up with that tune, do you suppose? As I said, he's been stuck still the entire time. If you look closely, his lips aren't even moving either. I'm not sure who's actually responsible for the spirited singing, but I suspect the answer lies at the end of Iris's gaze. No, okay. Oops. Wait, this is a gramophone, still rarely seen in our own country. The sound certainly appears to be coming from the horn. But machines singing? That can't be right. Science and technology are changing the world rapidly, Mr. Naruto. What's right is changing too. Ugh, it's too much for my brain. Well, at least we found our answer.
Take that!
Gramophone. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the gramophone. Indeed, for no well-bred gentleman would break into an obscure folk song when making a social call. In other words, this gentleman isn't singing at all. In fact, it would appear that the fellow is unconscious. Duh. Ah, the music seems to have stopped now. I ask you, Mr. Naruto. Yes? Why would I have purchased a recording of that gibberish? How should I know? Well, never mind. On with the deduction. Where exactly is this gentleman veiling himself so thoroughly on the settee? As it happens, a number of years ago now, a certain gentleman of German origin engaged my services in solving a particularly delicate case. It required the retrieval of letters once sent to an acquaintance that might have proved problematic. In order to conceal the noble identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund von Ormstein, the King of Germany. Rumor serves the mask worn by this gentleman is identical. Yes, there can be no question the mask belongs to the King of Germany. Though we've already established that this was actually the King of Bohemia. It seems Mr. Sholmes intends to persist with this Germany theory for some reason. Come to think of it, the young prince was wearing a mask as well, wasn't he? Master Gotts, the boy whom you headed in tears? Don't remind me, or anyone else. Do you suppose all the members of aristocracy of mainland Europe wear masks? I'm sure they do. Well, probably anyway. Point is, that mask doesn't belong to any king. Oh, that's right, as we well know. Because we can identify the true owner of this mask. Kazuma? Scared me.
Take that!
Yes, there can be no question. That mask belongs to Kazuma Sogi. In other words, my memory is sublimely unreliable. Only you could try to make that sound positive. Kazuma's mask has been languishing on this metal chest for several days, but it doesn't explain why the gentleman is wearing it now. But it is now a simple matter to determine our guest's true identity. After all, the gentleman is unconscious. We need only excuse ourselves in advance, gently lift the mask and peer beneath it. Who could it be? I don't believe it. Ah! Father! Oh. I'm afraid, Mrs. Otto, you must be mistaken. Oh, I think not, Mr. Sholmes. Then it would appear that our logic and reasoning has once again revealed the truth. This mysterious visitor is my unconscious father, Eugene Mikitoba. No! Logic and reasoning, or just looking and saying. What's the point of this? They just wanted to pad out this section. Girl silence to hide the coffee cup. Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable. Yes, you young Iris. But your apparently inexplicable silence is unable to hide the truth. Yes, your reasoning for muteness is concealed inside that knapsack. So that's a 5-pound note sticking out of Iris's knapsack, is it? Oh dear, I can't be sure. Most money that we encounter is in coin form. I know, I'm not even sure if we've seen any banknotes here in Britain at all, have we? But anyway, Father would never have paid money for Iris's silence. He certainly seems like the silent type himself, though, judging by his present state. His to be some other reason for Iris's silence, I suppose. Perhaps what Iris is trying so hard not to give away with her eyes. Something entirely different. Oh, it's open. This metal chest. It contains important documents, doesn't it? Yes, details of cases Mr. Sholmes has worked on over the years. Written up by Iris's father, if I'm remembering correctly. Iris insists that the chest is kept locked at all times. He's never once shown me inside. Well, its contents are invaluable to her, I suppose. Entirely irreplaceable. But look at it now. The catch is unlocked for once. Ah, so it is. That's hard to ignore. Very. I've never seen that chest unlocked before in all the time we've been staying here in Baker Street.
Take that!
Metal chest. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside that metal chest. An excellent observation, for upon closer inspection, there's something different about the chest's appearance. It's kept locked at all times, yet now the catch is open. Evidently, this has something to do with your refusal to speak, Iris. But it's a simple enough matter to incite you to speak, I'm sure. I merely need to open this chest. Here we go. No! Hurley, don't! Holy shit. Not the same thing then. Mr. Sholmes! Hurley! He's dead. Never! Oh, Hurley, I told you not to open it. Ah, so you found your voice now, Iris. In other words, what just happened clearly reveals the truth here. Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is... This is somewhat different to the usual dance of deduction you perform with Mr. Sholmes, isn't it? Well, he's left me alone on the ballroom floor, so I'm going to have to dance this next part solo. And anyway, I need to get to the bottom of this for my own peace of mind. Now then, Iris isn't usually the silent type, so... I mean, you don't actually know the answer yet, despite the knowing point of the finger before. Mrs. Sato. Sometimes a man needs to point his finger first and think later. Oh well, if you say so. I think we better examine Iris more clearly. I think we better examine Iris more closely and try to rescue the situation then. The reason your silence now is... the key.
Take that!
Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is that key behind your back. Ah! Mr. Sholmes was thrown into the air before. Just before you called out to try to stop him, you slipped something out of your mouth. That something is the key now in your hands, no doubt the key to the chest. Oh, that's what you did. You're so clever, you know? So now it becomes clear. Thanks to Mr. Sholmes' graphic demonstration, we can well imagine what happened here. But... Professor Mikotoba also opened the metal chest only to be punched into the air. And land sprawled onto the settee. But wait, that doesn't explain all the facts. What about the stylish scarf and the cup of tea? Above all, why would he be wearing Cosmos on his mask? Well, for those curious details, I can think of only one explanation. Clearly, an unbelievable miracle took place in this room. Isn't that right, Iris?
Oh,
Consider how the room was arranged before the whole painful experience took place. When Professor Makatoba opened the chest, completely unaware of what awaited him inside, the mask was flung into air just as he was, only to neatly land on his face when it fell back down. The teacup's journey through the air ended when it caught onto the unconscious professor's finger.
you mean to say the stylish scarf?
It's actually just a tablecloth. This is a great detective's office, after all, a place of miraculous deductions. Do you expect anything else?
Yes, you're right. It happened exactly as you said. Brilliant, Runo.
Thus concludes Ryunosuke Naruto's Great Deduction of this punchy puzzle. Oh, that was so useless, but it was funny.
So then, why don't I make a fresh pot of tea for us all?
Objection!
An admirable performance, Mr. Naruhodo. But in the final act of the show there, you rather missed everything of importance. Mr. Sholmes, if you would cast your mind back to my earlier deduction. Iris, you're clearly hiding a great secret.
Ah,
She is. Look over her face. Mr. Sholmes must be right. Whatever the great secret is, the cat isn't out of the bag yet. So I put it on you again. So you were attempting to abscond with that coffee cup.
really is a shame about Mr. Sholmes' cup.
Must have been smashed when Professor Pictober opened the chest.
Oh dear, so many things seem to have been broken here.
But now that the deduction has taken a different direction, Iris doesn't seem to be trying to hide the broken cup anymore.
In other words, her great secret is something else.
Let's put our observational skills to work here one final time then. Oh, come on. Okay, that was...
Ah! Why is it?
There it is. Ah, look there. There seems to be more papers there. Is Iris trying to hide them underneath the tray?
The insignia, Mr. Naruhodo. It's the official Scotland Yard document.
But why would Iris have
Must ask her.
an official Scotland Yard document? Where's my... oh, there it is.
Take that!
Case file. You're attempting to abscond with the case file. Iris, as you know very well, nothing escapes the attention of a great detective.
Oh no!
We visited Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory earlier today. Dr. Gorey informed us that the autopsy report of Clint Van Zeeks had gone missing. That was so scary. Clint Van Zeeks. Yes, I do seem to recall. Some years ago, I asked to see the report in question. You were with me, weren't you, Iris?
I
Mean it was you, Iris? So those papers you have there are...
sorry. Forgive me.
to hide the case file. Deduction complete. Elementary. In truth, I would like to have thought I could have predicted the booby-trap chest, but it caught me completely off guard. I was very nearly the late consulting detective Herlock Sholmes.
I'm sorry, Hurley.
So you mean this autopsy report really is?
Yes, I took it from the lab, even though I knew it was very important. Is there something in it that troubled you, Iris? Not exactly something that troubled me. Something I'd been looking for. I saw this report when I saw the writing in it. I knew it was Daddy's.
The writing?
Your father's writing? What do you really mean?
Iris? Must be something that's hard for her to talk about. Forgive me for interrupting, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes, what is it? I feel as though the poor unconscious gentleman on the settee has been somewhat forgotten.
Oh, Father!
Perhaps we should find our guest somewhere more peaceful to rest. Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Would you be so kind as to let him your bed? We must do our very best to make him comfortable, I feel. Oh, yes, of course. I'll help you carry him up.
So will I.
Oh no, I can manage alone, thank you. You have tea to enjoy. You know what Iris' spirit is do. Because there's no better way to make the professor comfortable than dragging him upstairs like a trunk. I wonder, perhaps that was deliberate. Maybe Mr. Sholmes is making himself scarce to give Iris the chance to talk more freely.
I must use this opportunity to talk with Iris and find out what's going on.
Would you like to tell us about it, Iris? About your father?
Sure, I told you before, didn't I? That Daddy used to be Hurley's partner. Yes, and that notes about all the cases they solved together are kept inside that metal chest. That's right. Hurley told me, you see. He said that Daddy's somewhere far away now, so we can't meet.
That's one way of describing it.
Then, when I secretly unlocked the chest and read through the papers inside, I started to build a picture in my head what Daddy must have liked.
Well, that's only natural.
You're just like any other girl your age. I read that Daddy was a professor of medical science, so I studied and took my degree too.
Well, that's only natural, I suppose.
In that respect, you're not quite like any other girl of your age, though. But there was only one thing I could never find out. Daddy's name.
Ah,
His name wasn't anywhere on any of the notes that he'd made about his work with Hurley. But then one day...
that's when it happened, is it? When you saw this autopsy report, you finally managed to work it out. Is that right?
Yes,
So, it was the handwriting in the report that caught her eye.
when I saw the handwriting in that report, I could hardly believe it. You know, that handwriting, I thought to myself,
Because it was the same as the handwriting you'd seen in their father's case notes?
exactly. I was desperate to compare the two properly, yet to see them side by side. I asked the doctor in the laboratory, but I was told I couldn't take the report away. And worse, I was told that the first and last time I'd be allowed to even look at it there.
So you decided to steal it?
When I compared the autopsy report with the case notes I'd had here, there's no doubt. The handwriting was exactly the same. It was Daddy's. The signature of the coroner at the bottom of the autopsy report.
Read Dr. John H. Wilson.
That's how I finally found out. I learned Daddy's name at last.
See,
But since then I called myself Iris Wilson. also when I had a brilliant idea of writing stories all about Daddy's exciting times with Hurley. Decided there were, and then I'd write the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Oh, Iris, I had no idea the stories had quite such a deep personal significance for you.
I can see why the autopsy report was so important to her now. And why she preferred to break the law to get her hands on it. I must apologize, Iris. This is really all my fault.
Really?
I made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I'd keep details of your father a secret.
No. Very naughty. Take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gory and apologize, I promise.
Yes, we'll go together, I think. No, wait, give it.
Then let me look after it for you until we get there.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Sato. Okay, cool. Autopsy report. Coroner John H. Wilson. Victim. Name Clint Van Zeeks, male. Age 33. Nationality British. Time of death 31st of May, between 9 p.m. and midnight. Observation. Death from single stab wound to the heart. Other superficial external wounds indicative of a duel. Additional notes. Recent scarlet ink stains visible on the little and ring fingers of the right hand, but no document in corresponding ink was found. Autopsy findings. Vital evidence recovered from the victim's stomach during autopsy. Credit to Inspector Gregson for petitioning so doggedly for autopsy procedure. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body. What was the vital evidence?
Must go and water my herbs, I think. See you all later.
Poor Iris. She must be feeling awful. I know Mr. Sholmes is here for her, but still.
Ah! What? How? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Sholmes?
Mr. Sholmes? What? Oh dear me. So, you've noticed, I see. What? What did I miss?
But that would mean...
What on earth's the matter, Mrs. Sato? You've turned as white as a sheet.
It's this autopsy report, Mr. Naruto. The one from 10 years ago. The writing isn't Dr. Wilson's at all.
Huh? What do you mean? How could you possibly know that?
Because I know this writing very well. This writing... it's my father's.
What? What? Professor Mikatoba's? Oh, shit. Indeed, it's true. Now you know, my dear fellows. No, I don't know anything. What on earth does this mean, Mr. Sholmes? Because the idea is slowly forming in my mind. Is Iris Sasato's half-sister? It's just too extraordinary to believe. Please, you have to explain. So this autopsy report was actually penned by Professor Mikatoba then? But that makes no sense. It's not possible, surely. Not possible, my dear fellow? Pray take a deep breath and think again.
Yes, you're right. In some ways, it actually makes a great deal of sense.
It does?
10 years ago, when my father returned to Japan after his extended study tour in Britain.
And prior to his return, where was Dr. Mikatoba engaged? Ah, of course. He was an assistant in Dr. Wilson's laboratory, learning about forensic science. And as an assistant, he would have had aided with the dissection work, making detailed notes, which would be assembled into a full autopsy report. Once the work is complete, the head coroner would check the contents and put his signature on the document.
In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson's in the report would be his signature at the end.
You see, Doris got the wrong end of the stick, you mean? She saw that and assumed the whole report had been written by Dr. John H. Wilson.
It's very understandable, of course.
What a complicated situation. Holy shit. Thinking about it, most of what we know about you, Mr. Sholmes, comes from the published stories of your exploits.
Yes, the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, written by Iris.
And we really have no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction. Most troubling for you, my dear fellow, I'm sure. So what about this supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not? Ah, you've come straight to the point, I see.
Please come straight to the answer.
I believe Iris explained it in one of her installments. He was a trusted comrade, and the only person I could have truly called a friend.
Did this partner of yours truly make a record of all your cases? Are his notes really stored inside that metal chest?
Absolutely, my dear madam. Absolutely. So where's your partner now? We rarely meet. You see, he lives on the other side of the world.
Oh,
But if this autopsy report and the records of all your old cases were penned by the same hand, and if the autopsy report was written, though not signed by your famous partner, there would only be one logical conclusion. Pray, impress me. Your partner would have to be Eugene Mikadoba. In other words, Mrs. Sato's father. Upon my word, Mr. Nahodo. Yes. You are coming along wonderfully. You've hit upon the method at last. You've finally grasped the art of deduction. You mean to say. Allow me to introduce you to my great friend and partner, Mikatoba.
Professor Mikatoba!
Holy shit.
Does this mean you're the real Dr. Wilson?
No, my dear. I'm still my old self, Eugene Mikatoba, your father.
Oh, of course.
This is obviously too much for Sato's to take it. I must say, though, how my old friend has attained worldwide celebrity as a great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all. I still remember the first time we met. Pray, remind me, when was it again, Mikadoba? 16 years ago, Sholmes. Ah yes, quite. 16 years ago. I just arrived from Japan with Seishiro and Genshin. I was in search of lodgings close to the hospital, some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. But rents aren't devilishly high in that particular area. That's right, so I decided I needed someone to share the lodgings and the expense. And was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation. I was a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you'd seen before you now. I was working at the hospital's chemical laboratory at the time, indulging my curiosities for little gain. Our situation of our cohabitation led us to pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe, it was mere 6 years ago. We had a great many adventures. But in the last year of Mikatoba's stay at Britain, that most infamous of cases presented itself. A case which you've become rather familiar with yourselves, Professor Killings. After the trial, Seishiro and I were summoned back home. Hardly surprising given the circumstances. There you have it. As you know, all the details recorded by my trusty chronicler remain in that metal chest. This is just amazing. So that's how she knows about the Hound of the Baskervilles. Professor Makatoba really is Mr. Sholmes' famous partner.
Father.
Goodness, my dear. What a cutting look.
As your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you were the great detective's great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now.
And that is?
You know very well what it is. The unsolved matter of Iris's father.
Ah, of course. I'd almost forgotten about that one. Yeah. I should have seen this coming, I suppose.
Iris told us that all the notes about the great detective's adventures that are in that metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Sholmes?
That is indeed what I told young Iris.
But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, father, and you wrote all those case notes, Iris' father must be you.
Upon my word, Mrs. Sato. You're coming along wonderfully as well. You too have hit it upon the method at last. You finally grasped the art of deduction. Bah!
What you've always told me, father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago. You left me in grandmother's care whilst you embarked on your study tour in Britain. I've always accepted that, but all this about Iris.
Oh, there it is. Sato-san's ice-cold stare. No. Now, hold on a minute. It was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think.
Perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is?
There it is. Now the eyes go from ice cold to red hot. Just before she... No, really, you've got the wrong end of the stick. Say something, man. That's quite enough, my fiery fellow. Mr. Sholmes, why did you get all dressed up? Whilst I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past, Makatoba and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion.
But it's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go?
Why, my dear madam, is that not obvious? My partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. So, get your coat, Makatoba. The game is afoot. But Sholmes, I really must give Sato a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our carriage awaits downstairs already. You haven't changed one iota, have you? I mean, really, I visit our home after 10 long years. When I open that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicably pass out. And as if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regain consciousness, I'm plugged straight into all this.
Mother, please. Go with Mr. Sholmes now.
What?
No doubt whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interest. I trust you, completely.
Sato.
Setting the great detective and his great partner off on renewed adventures together. More than I could have hoped for in my wildest dreams.
Very well then. We'll speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day. I wish you the best of luck tomorrow. Yes, Naruhodo. Good luck in battle, and in reaching a decision. Decision? About whether to go back to Japan, I suppose? Man.
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself.
I know, right?
It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth, and that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
Oh, he said it. Resolve. Alright, guys. Ooh, that was a crazy episode. So yeah, I'll end the episode here, and then next time we'll continue the trial. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.